Last night, we were reminded that despite the paths we have chosen to walk, we are still loved. In fact, we are loved so deeply that God incarnate came among us, not only to show us the way back into right relationship with one another and with God, but to save us from ourselves, to save us from our insatiable desires for self-satisfaction, self-gratification, and self-glorification, to save us from the world of me and restore us to the world of we. In the world of me, that is all there is. Nothing else matters except that which matters to me. In the world of me, it is not that we don't care for others, but we only care for them in so far as that matters to us and our well-being. In the world of me, the individual comes first. What the individual needs and feels is most important is what they seek. In the world of me, we surround ourselves with all the things and the people we believe will make us happy, only to find ourselves unhappy and alone. Having everything is having nothing if all that we have is ourselves. The world of we is much different. Not that the things of this world don't matter, they do. It is just they don't exist solely to bring the individual joy. Instead, it is in and through them we find joy. Not joy that is ours alone, but joy that is enjoyed because it is shared. For instance, last night, when we celebrated the Eucharist, as individuals, the bread gives us strength. And like the foot washing that cleansed the outside of our body, the wine cleansed the inside. Yet the Eucharist, eaten alone, is just another meal. It is only when, as Jesus said, two or more are gathered together in his name. In other words, when we share in it together, his presence among us is made known. Jesus knew from the very beginning we were created to be in relationship with one another, in relationship with God. In the world of me, we lose sight of the importance relationship has on our well-being. And we see relationships as a danger to our enjoyment of life. And as a result, we keep people at arm's reach, arm's length, holding close those things we think will bring us happiness. In doing so, we slowly isolate ourselves until one day we find ourselves all alone. And then nothing we hold on to, nothing we strive for brings us happiness. That is, until we find ourselves reconnected to the world of we. I am told by those in recovery programs, the point I am describing is what they describe as hitting bottom. Because from this point, the only way out of the depths in life is up. And the only way to go up is with the help of another. Here's the thing. Even though they are reconnected to the world of we, the only help they can accept, at least in the beginning, is from someone who, like them, has made the same journey that they are on. Someone who has hit bottom. Someone who in despair cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" From the time humanity was cast out of the garden, God has watched it slip deeper and deeper into a hole that takes us farther and farther from God. And despite God's warnings, humanity continued to choose the world of me and those things we thought would bring us pleasure. We sought to control our lives and held on to those things we cherished more than anything or anybody else. In an attempt to save us from our pain and suffering of hitting bottom, God's grace gave us a type of safety net. One meant to catch us and make our journey out of the hole we were falling into so much easier. By coming among us as one of us, experiencing what we experience, Jesus is able to show us the way out, the way up, no matter how deep we have fallen. Helping us to know we might once again live in right relationship with one another and with God, being fully restored into the world of we. While many rejoiced in that day and grabbed hold of the outstretched hand to help them up, to guide them back into wholeness and a place of light and peace, still others rejected God's offer, believing instead in themselves and their own abilities, unable to see the danger of continuing along the path they had chosen and seeing grace as nothing more than false hope. They did the only thing they thought they could to protect their world of me. They took grace and nailed it to a cross, hoping that by showing the lack of power grace held, it would somehow keep people from trying to embrace it. Those who rejected grace truly believed they were saving the people from themselves. Last weekend, I went to see a movie titled The Case for Christ, based on a book written by Lee Strobel. It was the story of an atheist who tried to disprove the resurrection in order to save his wife from Christianity. Lee was an investigative reporter, so he knew how to do his research. Yet despite all the evidence he collected supporting the claims that Jesus indeed was risen from the dead, and the fact that the noted skeptics could offer no real proof of their theories, he could not see what his wife knew in her heart until someone helped him to admit he could not see because he did not want to. Like those who called for the crucifixion of Jesus, he lived in the world of me. The difference being that once he realized how grace asks us to look beyond ourselves and the worlds of me, all that's left to see is the world of we. As we enter and reconnect to the world beyond ourselves, it changes our lives forever. We no longer see one another as different. We no longer view ourselves as better or more knowing than another. Instead, we see one another as equals, as people on the same journey, as brothers and sisters in Christ. Still, We're human. And sometimes we are tempted to slip back into that world of me. And when that happens, the world of we reaches out to help keep us from falling back into the darkness once known. But this world is human too. And it does not always see what is happening in time to help. And sometimes its efforts to help just don't. The only thing that keeps us from isolating ourselves from the world around us is being reminded that in our baptism, when oil is used to make the sign of the cross on our foreheads, we are not only marked as one of Christ's own forever, but we are forever joined to Christ, with Christ, and in Christ. By hanging Jesus on the cross, those who rejected grace unknowingly gave us what we need today to remind us of our unity with Christ and one another. A Roman instrument of terror becomes a sign of hope, a reminder of the depth of God's love for us, a reminder that when looked upon, shows us the way out of darkness and back into light, the way out of the world of me